Shalom. First and foremost, above all things, I want to give all praises and honor and glory that's definitely due to Yahweh Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai Ba'ashem, Rakak Radash. I'm from the GMS Waco, Texas camp. I'd like to give a special double honors to our elders and apostles on down at Great Millstone, who rule well, who teach well, and are great examples to us brothers out here. Peace and salutations to the elect. May the blessing of election be upon your household. I'm your brother Atiat. And topic for today, a great humbling has to come to you women. And Lord willing, I hope and pray that this will be an edifying lesson. So over the last several weeks now, I guess, with the talk about the SNAP benefits, and today is the day where I guess they're going to determine where those who receive these benefits are going to get them. And we know primarily the ones that get the SNAP benefits are women, because let's face it, there's more women on the earth than it is men. There's more women in the United States than there are men, and it was designed that way by Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai, Yahweh being the name of the Heavenly Father, which means He is or He exists, and then you have the Son's name, which is Yahweh Shai, which means He that delivers. So, you got women talking about that they're gonna do all kind of crazy, all kind of madness, which is maybe some of them stealing, taking what they want, and things of that nature. Going on social media talking about they're gonna take what they need or take what they want, which is utterly wicked. Because really all you're doing, you're acting just like the heathen that rules over us, Esau, Edom. The scriptures say the earth is in the hands of the wicked. So Esau is the ruler over the earth, and in particular where we're living right here is Babylon, and he rules over us. And we know, through history that he went through. He came here and took the land from Gad and Reuben, and so a lot of you women have that same mindset. You have men who are basically going their own way. They don't want to deal with you women because as as Flo saying used to go, you're out of your rabbit ass mind, and a lot of these women are out of their rabbit ass mind. So what's gonna happen is a lot of your luxuries that you've been having, all these options that you've been using, some of you women deal with multiple men for multiple different reasons. Maybe this guy's good in the bedroom. You got maybe another guy that pays your rent. You may have one guy that may be good at fixing cars, so you deal with him, And so all that's going to be taken away, because really all the comforts that you have been having, all these things are going to be taken away. Really, the SNAP benefits, food stamps or whatever, it's just the beginning, because right now the threat of you not getting your stamps or your benefits, you have doubled down in your pride. So it's going to take more to humble you. And so with that being said, I'm going to go into Isaiah. And the Spirit was on me to do this video because the topic has been about you women for a while now, and it's all through the Spirit. Because really, you may say, well, hey, you guys are always constantly on the women. Well, because we know that A lot of women out here are not going to make it. So all we can do is warn the people. And the scriptures say in Ezekiel chapter 3 and verse 17, give them warning from me. So this is really the Heavenly Father, Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai, speaking through us, being the prophets. So you could take it, this should be put it like this. This, what we're telling you, should be taken seriously. Not not for you to take it as though we're picking on you. But there's a serious time that's about to come, and if you don't take heed, and you're getting butt hurt because you're being rebuked, then maybe maybe this is who it's for. So I'm gonna start here in Isaiah chapter 3 in verse 16. Moreover, the Lord Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai saith, because the daughters of Zion are haughty, and walk in a stretched forth necks, and wanton eyes, walking and mincing as they go, and making a tinkling with their feet. So you women, you have walked haughty, with your stretched forth necks, wanton eyes, basically wondering, and the Lord sees all this, walking and mincing as they go, making a tinkling with their feet. How you women walk with these heels, and you're walking and you hear that click clacking and all that, and really what it is because you're looking for attention. You're searching for attention. You want to be the center of attention, and really, you may take it that we're picking on you women, but you women have value, but the value that you have, you're not using it. Your value is to be submissive unto a man, particularly a man of Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai. And there's coming a time where you're going to wish, or you're going to be seeking for a man of Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai, And a lot of you women that are still in that wicked spirit that you're in, you're going to be rejected by the men of Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai because you ain't right. Verse 17, therefore the Lord will smite with a scab the crown of the head of the daughters of Zion, and the Lord will discover their secret parts. So the Lord is going to take your hair. That's why a lot of you women are running around here wearing wigs, wearing weaves and things of that nature, because really that a woman should have hair. And you women, a lot of you women, don't have hair. So you compensate by wearing these wigs and these extensions and all these things, you know what I'm saying? But all this is because of your great pride. And, through the Spirit, you realize that it's not enough that the Lord has to take those benefits away from you. Now, I say this because Esau is kind of like that. He's very, he's passive aggressive, so he may go ahead and give you your stamps this month. Who knows? But there's going to come a time, and we see it in the Spirit, that this place, America, is circling the drain, man. And we see it through the prophecies. And you women ought to see it in a shift, because a lot of men ain't chasing after you no more. They're realizing that all you're doing is playing games. Even they're still, don't get it twisted, you still got simps running around chasing after you, but for the most part, a lot of men are going their own way. You got, what's that movement called, MGTOW, where men going their own way, which really, that's, all that's derived through the scriptures, because men are not desiring to be with you because of your attitudes, because you bring less value to the table. The value you should bring is to be under submission unto your husband. That's the real true value. And being with that man and no other man. But you women, you've been given, because you're under the spell of Esau, you drink his wine, you're in the influence of thinking that you're an independent woman. You can move how you want to move. You can sleep with whoever you choose to sleep with. And what has it brought you? Nothing but confusion. You've got, you know, not all of you, but uh, some of you women, you know, majority of you women, especially here in America, I'll say, have multiple, baby daddies, and the Israelites are the only, you know, group, the nation, where their women are referred to as baby mamas or baby daddies. You know, this the only nation that has that. You don't hear that about Moab. You don't hear that about Esau. Just naming up some nations or whatever. There's other nations, Japheth, so on and so on, but they're not referred to as that. You know, they're the only nation that's that's said to have baby daddies or baby mamas. You know, and that's an insult. And then the thing on top of that, you women have multiple babies by multiple different men. You know, so the Lord has to. It's gonna take more than just food stamps to get the point across to you, because your pride is so high. And me and the brother me and my camp leader, we were talking about this uh, last Saturday when we was, when we did a camp lesson after we did a camp. Just letting you know that, hey man, it's gonna take more than just uh, the food stamps to be taken away. The Lord's going to have to take so much more away from you. And we're reading it right now. Um, yeah, so the Lord's going to take your, and going to take the hair away from you women. And a lot of you women are walking around bald, or don't have much hair, but you're still walking with great pride, you know. So it's going to take more than just that. The Lord's got to take a lot of things away from you for you to get that pride demon off of you, man. And in that day, verse 18, and in that day the Lord Yahweh Hashem Yahushai will take away the bravery of their tinkling ornaments about their feet and their calls and their round tires like moon, the chains, the bracelets, the mufflers, the bonnets, and the ornaments of the legs. Yeah, you got a lot of these women that wear these ankle bracelets and things of that nature. Nose, bracelets, the mufflers, the bonnets. Women run around with these bonnets, ornaments of the legs, the bracelets, the headbands, the tablets, the earrings, the rings, the nose jewels, the changeable suits of apparel. A lot of you women, you change, you might wear something in the morning, you might change in the evening and wear something else, and a lot of you women have so much clothes, and then you still say that I ain't got nothing to wear, and you got two two closets that's full of apparel to wear, and then you still say I have nothing to wear, crazy. The rings and the nose jewels, the changeable suits of apparel, and the mantles and the wimples and the crisping pins, the glasses, the fine linen, the hoods, the veils. And it shall come to pass that instead of a sweet smell, there shall be stink. Yeah, so things are going to get so bad out here to where you're not going to be able to go and take a bath or a shower, which a lot of you women take showers when you should be taking baths, because you're eternal beings, that you're internal beings. That water's got to get inside that vagina to kill that bacteria, and then you're not using the proper oils, to soak in. There's multiple things that you could be using, but you choose not to. You use all the stuff that Esau gives you. Um, there's various oils that a woman is supposed to be bathing in. Lavender oil, citrus oil, just to name a few, uh, tea tree oil, things of that nature. You women don't want to use that because you don't have the knowledge or the wisdom to understand, why to use them. And in the meantime, you take these showers and you're not killing the bacteria that's inside your vagina. And then you wonder why your vaginas be smelling because you women don't soak in the tub, man. You're supposed to soak in the tub. The our In our culture, women was soaking in bath water that was full of oils, you know. So when she was before her husband, she smelled pleasant. You women, you just take a shower. Some of you might just take what they call a duck bath, and you think you're clean. It takes more than just taking a shower. You supposed to be soaking in the tub, man, to kill bacteria. You know. So it's gonna come a time when you women are not even gonna be able to bathe, man. You know, and so that means you think about it, you women who have cycles, you know, you're gonna be smelling. Blood gonna be on you. You ain't gonna be out. You ain't gonna have the pads and things of that nature because these stores and things of that nature are gonna be shut down. America is gonna be completely shut off. You think this food shut down or this food stamp SNAP benefits or anything like that? That's gonna be the problem. That's just the beginning of what's about to happen. That's just the start. And really it still ain't affected you women to realize to change my thinking pattern because you're still full of pride. So I read it again, verse 24. And it shall come to pass, instead of a sweet smell, there shall be stink. And instead of a girdle, a rent. And instead of well set hair, baldness. Yeah, again, you women, a lot of you women are going to lose your hair. And you're already doing that now. You got women wearing, again, you got women wearing wigs, weaves, and so on, extensions, and so on, man. So, and that pride still ain't been taken away from you. It's still heavy on you. And instead of a stomacher or a girding of sackcloth, there shall be burning instead of beauty. A lot of you women have a masculine spirit on you, almost to the point that where, our women look like men, Thy men shall fall by the sword and thy mighty in war. Yeah, so these men that y'all are dealing with, a lot of them are going off to war. These Pookie and Ray Rays. And I hope and pray that the Lord puts the spirit on Esau to send them Pookie and Ray Rays off to for World War III. Because right now you can see that he's already scattering the military in different areas already, to the point to where they're gonna have to bring up a draft. They're already feuding with Venezuela. They're feuding also with Nigeria. So that means you're depleting that military. So that means that, and I'm just saying this in my humble opinion, that's if all this keeps up, which it will, it's gonna bring up that draft. And who knows, they may set the limit to 12 years old and up, and then you people gonna really be outraged. But you got to understand that Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai is controlling the whole show. Yeah, thy men shall fall by the sword, and thy mighty in the war. See what? And we talked about this in a video after camp again. Me and my camp leader, that a lot of these guys they sent over there, they're not going to be military trained. They just gonna put them out there. A lot of them Jakes, going to be on the front line. Them YNs, they gonna put you on the front line because they don't give a damn about you in the first place. And her gates, verse 26, and her gates shall lament and mourn, and she being desolate shall sit upon the ground. Yeah, so that's got to happen in order to take that pride away. Now, some of you women, I won't say all of you, but some of you are probably seeing the light right now that things are getting bad, and you gotta Lord may put the spirit on you to realize, hey, I'm messing up. I got to get out of this mindset you know, that this man has taught me. You know, this beast has taught me. And so, but a great many of you women are going to be just like this right here. You're going to, you know, all this is going to, you know, all this is a great humbling. All these things that Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai is taking away from you is going to humble you, and you're going to be sitting on the ground. And that pride demon that you have on you, it's going to be gone. And so you got a woman now. I was just looking at a video a beloved brother from GMS put up. I think it's GMS Fierce. And the brother was saying that he was showing a video where this woman was saying she was looking for her husband. And she was in Lowe's, I think. So she's talking about she's looking for a husband. And the man said, well, you looking at him right now, but you have to share me with my wife. And, you know, her being the prideful, you know, her being in that prideful demon-like spirit, she don't want to do that. So, but it's going to come a time when that humbling, you know, that humbling is going to make these women get out of that spirit. And the proof of that is Isaiah 4:1. Let me go to it. Isaiah chapter 4 and verse 1. And in that day 7 women shall take hold of one man, saying, we will eat our own bread, wear our own apparel. Only let us be called by thy name to take away our reproach. Yeah. So guess what? Things are going to get so increasingly bad out here. It's not even, you know, it's going, you know, you think about all the stuff that the Lord is taking away from you in Isaiah chapter 3, verse 16 through 26. You know, he's going to take away the men that you've been dealing with. He's going to take away all these things that he said he's going to take away. Plus, you don't have no hair. And a lot of you women are going to be desperate. You're going to be needing, you know, and that pride demon is going to leave you. And you ain't going to be worried about if that man's dealing with another, you know, another woman. If anything, you might even bring a cousin or a close friend, you know, another one of your close girlfriends or whatever. You're going to probably bring her with you too. You see what I'm saying? So all that's going to get out, all that's going to go out the door. All that, this is my man and my man only, all that kind of bullshit, that's going out the door, man. You know, because this is a terrible time, man. Just to give you a glimpse of it, because, and the brother brought out something very interesting. I wish I had said this a while back, but this is all about learning, man. So we can all grow, and I'm still growing. I don't mind saying it. But see, you women are gonna have to see bloodshed. You know, you're gonna have to be close to death for you to realize how serious this is. You know, the day of the Lord's gonna be. So yeah, man. Amos chapter 5 and verse 18. I close out with this with verse 18 on down a little bit. Okay. Amos chapter 5, and I'll start here in verse 18. Woe unto you that desire the day of the Lord, Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai. To what is it for you? The day of the Lord is darkness and not light. Yeah, so you women are going to be so spooked, because you think about it, those missiles coming in, you know, you're not going to even be able to see the sun. It's going to be so bad over here, man. Because all these nations are going to turn their back up on this, you know, the hammer of the earth, which is Esau Edom, this beast. They're going to turn their back on him. You know, there's so many names you can call it. The whore, you know. And this place is like, you know, has a whore-like attitude, man. So Babylon is likened to a whore. Woe unto you that desire, Salaki, let me go to 19. As if a man did flee from a lion and a bear met him, or went into a house, leaned his hand on the wall, and a serpent bit him. So basically what the scripture is referring to is that The day of the Lord is pure darkness, no light, you know, one calamity after another. You know, you escape one calamity and enter into another calamity. You know, you may go into a shelter place that you think you're sheltered and you're safe, and something else may come up. You know, so it's going to be constant. You know, a time of survival, and only the men of Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai is going to overcome all this that's going on, man. You know, so this is a scary time, and now's the time for you women to change your mindset, man. Get out of that spirit that Esau, this beast, has taught you. Being an independent woman, understanding that it's important to have a man in your life, a man to submit to, a man of Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai. Not, a lot of you women are gonna die, and 2/3 of Israel consists of women. So the majority of them are gonna be women. It's not gonna just be men. It's gonna be women, and even the 1/3 is gonna be more women than there is men, because when you look at Isaiah 4:1, and it says 7 women will take hold of one man, that's 7 is just a number. 7 represents completion. It could be a man of Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai may have maybe over 50 or 60 different women. Who knows? 20, 40, 60, 100. Who knows? Whatever it is, but it's going to be through the spirit of Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai for you to discern, if you decide to want to deal with that woman or not, and it's going to be a special spirit that Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai is going to have to put on a man of Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai to even deal, because we're going to be looking to try to we're going to be trying to survive. So it's got to be a special spirit on us to even want to deal with a woman, because we're thinking about trying to get through it, get through Jacob's trouble, but these women, they're going to see it's a special spirit that these other Jakes don't have out there, and so you women, you better get in line, man, because the SNAP benefit thing that's going on, the talk about that's just the beginning of the hardships that's about to hit Babylon. That's just the tip of the iceberg. So Lord willing, I hope and pray that this was an edifying lesson. Once again, I want to give all praises and honor and glory to Yahweh by Hashem, Yahweh Shai by Hashem, Rakah Kradash. Until the next time, Lord willing, I say Shalom.